Hello, my name is Alex Isles and welcome to Ingram Valley in Northumberland National Park. And in this episode I'm going to be discussing the Neolithic, or what was the Neolithic. Now the Neolithic period is the New Stone Age. In the British Isles it starts roughly around about 4000 BC, 6,000 years ago, and is characterized by the adoption of farming. Now they believe that the Neolithic period started in what is today the Middle East, and in that area they believe that because of climate change and due to the fact the world was warming up, sea levels rose and flooded an incredibly fertile piece of land. So roughly where the Gulf Strait is today between Iraq and Iran, there was a huge area that has now been mapped by oil companies. And when they've mapped that land, there was a fertile forest there. Now that fertile forest is by some believed to be almost like the biblical Garden of Eden. Fertile, and throughout the year, because of the warmth, they would have produced crops that the early Mesolithic hunter-gatherers in that area of the world would never have to worry about food supplies. But due to climate change, global sea temperatures rose and the land where that forest was flooded. And so they were forced out of this metaphorical Eden and then into the area where we have the Tigris and the Euphrates today. And so they had to start looking at ways of supporting themselves, and they adopted farming. Over the millennia they started expanding, because every single time they settled a farm they would actually have larger families because of sustained food supplies, that sort of thing, and they would expand, and eventually these farming populations spread up into Anatolia or southern Turkey, and then those groups would eventually migrate through Europe to roughly where Brittany is today. That population group at 4000 BC then migrated into the British Isles, and when they migrated into the British Isles they formed the first Neolithic farmers, and they found a nation, well, a landmass covered in woodlands and full of wild animals, and they started to clear it and to settle it. And when they found the clearances, they would start farming, and they took over the land and domesticated it and spread across the British Isles, creating these new farms. And so that is actually how the Neolithic period began in the British Isles. It was from a migratory population of farmers from Anatolia who entered the British Isles and eventually would become the main population group across the whole of this island. I really hope you've enjoyed this video today, and if so, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and if you would like to support me further, I do have a Patreon where you will be able to help steer the channel by helping to suggest videos that I could make and therefore create new content for the channel as well. Until next time though, stay safe and well, and thank you again.